Hello everybody, here for tonight for the second leg of the UEFA Conference League. It will be Roma will go up against Newcastle United, and the winner of this matchup here for tonight will go through into the semi-finals of the Conference League for next month in June. It'd be difficult for Newcastle here for tonight because last week they drew 0-0 at home at St James's Park Stadium, but in the second leg, could they surprise all the fans of Roma and get a massive away victory to keep themselves alive in this European competition? Let's head to that game right now anyway. So between these two teams of the second leg of the Europa Conference League here on BBC. A huge night for Newcastle, a huge night for the Geordies here in the second leg of the Conference League as they play against Roma in the second leg of the quarterfinals of the Conference League here for tonight. And Roma are huge favourites to probably get the win here and knock out Newcastle out of the UEFA Conference League. But could Newcastle really hold back and really get something in this matchup to surprise Roma to head themselves through into the last four of the UEFA Conference League for next month? But Roma's got a very good team, a very strong team here as of last week, and they need to really deliver that here at home. And maybe it'd be difficult for Newcastle to try and defend this game because the Roma fans are very intense in their home grounds throughout the season in the Serie A and also in the Conference League as well, and it's very hard to get a result like this against stadiums and atmospheres and clubs like this they playing against in this competition in the Conference League. How further Newcastle go into it, it will be up against real top sides. Will be up against them, upon them in these games. And here we go right now for kick-off here as Roma start things first in this matchup as we speak. Now Edin Dzeko now. Okay, now it looks like Pellegrini has a shot there, but gone all the way there to Nick Pope very easily and comfortably right there to the goalkeeper. A very good chance right there for Roma to score the first goal within seconds in the match. And now it's Cristiante. And now here's Carlos Perez. Now here's to Lascelles. And now here's Paul Dummett. And now here's Sean Longstaff. And now to Bruno Guimaraes. And now all the way there now to Pellegrini. Now to Cristiante. Now, okay, now here's to Guimaraes, now to Dummett. Dummett now to Fabian Schär. Looks like here El Shaarawy there won the ball back here for Roma. This could be a chance here for Newcastle to win the ball back. Good defending right there from Newcastle. And they won't be favourites, of course, to get a win here tonight. But who knows, in fact, in football, anything can happen. And Newcastle are a team that obviously never won any major trophy since 1955, way back when they won the FA Cup in those days. Long time ago it was, the FA Cup, many years ago. And that's the last ever major trophy that Newcastle ever won in any of the major tournaments since they played in all competitions in the football. Apart from maybe the Championship they've won in being promoted to the Premier League not long ago. But apart from that, they have not won any major trophy in their club's history for the last 70 years since. And we had a long time without any trophy. It'd be good to get a European trophy under their belt, as Newcastle United have never ever won a European trophy in their history as a football club. So this is massive for them if they can really deliver that here in this competition this season. Now Sean Longstaff, and now Bruno Guimaraes finds a pass here now to Joelinton. And now all the way, could be a chance here now. Chance for Longstaff. Oh my God, Longstaff almost scored there. Good save there for the goalkeeper right there for Roma. And now Dzeko now could get the ball, but Lascelles there covered it nicely right here. Pass back to the goalkeeper. And now header back to Newcastle here again. And now Roma on the ball back slightly. Now Longstaff back to Newcastle here. Now Bruno Guimaraes. And now going to be a header right here again. Now back to Guimaraes again here for Newcastle. Looking for a pass here. Maybe a goal could be here. Good shot. Goal for Newcastle. And it's 1-0 here at the Stadio Olimpica. Their first ever goal in this tie over Roma. In the first leg of last week, there was 0-0 in that match at St James's Park Stadium. But as of here at the Stadio Olimpica, they've got that breakthrough of a goal here. And now Newcastle take the lead here. And they are very close on now, maybe progressing themselves into the semi-finals of the Conference League of next month in June. I can't believe it. Newcastle in front here at the Stadio Olimpica. Never expect this to happen. Now here's Dzeko now, however. Dzeko on the ball. Now pass the ball there to Carles Perez. In the box of a Dzeko. Goal for Dzeko. And now it's 1-1. And now we're talking now this game. And now Roma are back into it in this match. 1-1 in the matchup as we speak. I've got to say, unbelievable cross right there. Into the box there. Into the head. 1-2 from Carlos Perez. And then Dzeko got that head onto that. Hit on the floor of the pitch. And then bounced above the arms of Nick Pope. And that ball went into the back of the net. And now it's 1 apiece here in this matchup at the Stadio Olimpica here for this evening. Brilliant goal, I've got to say. And 1-1 on aggregate as we speak at the moment. And it's almost half time, by the way, here. Lascelles now to Almiron. And the whistle blow any minute now, and it is over. And AS Roma and Newcastle go into half time. 1 apiece here on the score of the game, and also on the aggregate also, as it ends 1-1 at the first half. We're back here for the second half, and here we go between Roma and Newcastle, and it is 1-1 as we speak at the moment in this matchup. And could Newcastle surprise us all here tonight in Rome? And now here's Maximan, good cross from him, good header right there from Roma there. And now El Sarari now to Bruno Perez. And now all the way to Lascelles, now to Jacob Murphy. And now Longstaff, now to Bruno Guimaraes. Looks for a pass here now to a cross for Murphy. Head away. And now is Diardo now to Proadis. Now to Cristiarte. Now to Carles Perez. Now, okay, won it back here now, Newcastle. If it stays like this, the game will go to penalties. Otherwise, if it stays like this, because it's 1-1 aggregate. So that will mean that we might have to go to penalty shootout if it stays like this, the game. But now it looks like here that they hold it nice and tight here now. Roma at the back here. Now to Pellegrini. Luca Pellegrini there to Stephen El Shaarawy. Now all the way there to Bruno Perez. Now pass it back here now. Mancini. Now to Carles Perez. Now again. Now to Shaw. Now to Jolinton now for Newcastle. Newcastle might be on the attack here, but oh, great cover there from the Roma defence. And a clearance right there from the goalkeeper in the matchup here for Roma. And now Cristiante. Now it's Carlos Perez. And now a goal kick here for Newcastle as Roma got the last touch on that. And now here's Nick Pope will take the goal kick as we speak. Not long to go until full time, and we might have to go to penalties here between Newcastle and Roma. Now here's Pro Vindis now to Mancini. And now to Carlos Perez. And now all the way on the counter attack. Really pushing through here, Roma. And now all the way for a head from El Sarari. Now Dzeko. Now Dummett clears the ball away. Now Cristiante. Now Darbio. Now to El Sarari. Now Bruno Perez. And now Jacob now. Murphy. Another pass again there to Alan Maximan. Now to Bruno Guimaraes. And now all the way here for a chance here. Shot from Maximan. And it's gone right there to the goalkeeper right there for a corner for Newcastle in the matchup. Great pass. All the way there to, looks like a shot there from Wilson. And a save there for the goalie. And there's a big chance for Newcastle to nick something here, to head themselves through into the semi-finals of the Conference League. Not long left to go left, as we got 2 more minutes left of the game to go. And the whistle blow any minute now. Dzeko lost it back, and it is full time. And that will mean that Roma and Newcastle will have to head to penalty shootout to find out who will go through into the semi-finals of the Europa Conference League, as it ends 1-1 between these two sides. Penalty shootout as it is between Roma and Newcastle, as Edin Dzeko will take the first penalty here for Roma against the goalkeeper Nick Pope in the game here for the Stadio Olimpica for tonight. And let's see how Dzeko will place this ball past the goalkeeper right here, right now. As Dzeko versus here Nick Pope takes the first penalty, and he scores the first penalty, and Roma are in the lead in this game. And a great strike right there from the goal scorer for Roma during the matchup here for tonight. And now Jolinton will take the next penalty here for Newcastle to make it 1-1 in the game. And he scores. And Newcastle won, Roma won in the Conference League quarter-final second leg to head themselves hopefully through into the semis. Now El Sarari now for Roma, and he scores to make it 2-1 here for Rome. And now we've got here Newcastle now. Alan Saint-Maximin has a chance to score here. And he does, and right in the middle of the goal to make it 2-2. And now it looks like here Roma now to make it 3-2. And a save right there from Nick Pope. Great goalkeeper right there from Nick Pope to save the shot from Roma. And now Almiron now to make it 3-2. Newcastle, and he missed as well. Roma and Newcastle's players missed that third chance to make it a goal on penalties. But now Roma now to try and make it 3-2 here. And they have. Big chance there for Newcastle to make it 3-2 to them on penalties. But unfortunately Almiron hit the crossbar. And now Newcastle here from Bruno Guimaraes takes it. And another save right there from the Roma goalkeeper. Another miss. And this will mean if Roma score this goal right here, right now tonight, then Newcastle will be heading out of the UEFA Conference League here in Rome for this evening. Nick Pope has to save this. And he does save it. And he's still alive in this matchup here, as Darboe could not score that goal. And a save right there from Nick Pope. And Newcastle United now have to score this here. Their local boy of Sean Longstaff must score this goal. This one club man has to score this for Newcastle, otherwise they're out. And he scores to make it 3-3. Game on here at the Stadio Olimpica. And now here's a chance here to make it 4-3 Roma. And a save right there from Nick Pope, as Cristiante could not score it, as Nick Pope saved it. And now Fabian Schär takes his penalty here for Newcastle. And he scores, and Newcastle head through into the last four of the UEFA Conference League as they've knocked out Rome away from home here tonight. And I never thought that Newcastle will overtake Roma here by the end of this evening, as it ends 4-3 on pens, and Newcastle are through to the semi-finals of the Conference League. The official results of the quarter-finals of the second leg of the UEFA Conference League. Saldrios 0, Padres Impact 3, and Padres Impact do go through on 6-1 on aggregate. Bayern Leverkusen 3, Genk 1, and Bayern Leverkusen head through as they won on aggregate by 6-2. AS Roma 1, Newcastle United 1 on aggregate. It ends 1-1 in their matchup, but Newcastle head through on pens by 3-4, and also Red Star Belgrade 1, Villarreal 0, but Villarreal do head through by 3-4 on aggregate. And also coming up for the semi-finals of the Conference League in June of next month, as Padres Impact will take on against the German side of Bayern Leverkusen, while Newcastle United as they play against Villarreal in the semi-finals of the UEFA Conference League. And coming up this Saturday, we do have this major matchup here on Match of the Day, as Everton, as they're going to host here against Manchester City, as that game will be live on BBC coming up in a couple days between these two sides here for this weekend. But that's all we have time for here right now for the coverage here for the UEFA Conference League, as a massive win for the Geordie boys of the North East, as Newcastle United surprisingly won on penalties against Roma to head through to take on Villarreal in June of next month in the semi-finals of the UEFA Conference League. And that'll be all right here from myself here today, Gary Lineker, and have a very perfect good night here for tonight, and see you guys all on Saturday for Match of the Day. Good night.